A warm welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Thursday, November 12. Prime Minister Mia Mottley says her government will not back down from its drive to ensure Barbados becomes a smart digital nation. And she's promising cooperation and sustained dialogue with Barbadians and the island's social partners to achieve this. Addressing the opening of Accountants Week 2020, which was held virtually on Thursday under the theme Embracing Disruption, Building Resilience, Mottley noted that while the country is already moving in the right direction, there's more to be done.
We're not yet where we want to be. Cashless, carbon neutrality, e-governance, e-identification, public sector innovation engines, tech entrepreneurship hubs, climate resilience infrastructure, free national-wide public high-speed internet. We have a lot of things in motion. All of these we are working on. We envisage a near future for doing business in Barbados that is paperless, cashless, and yes, even presence-less. But we need to move faster than we are. We must move faster, and COVID has literally forced that upon us. The role of my government, therefore, is not to inhibit technological advancement or to prop up dated modalities. The role of my government will be to ensure that people feel informed and confident that the right balance will be struck between innovation and fairness.
She stressed that in the face of COVID-19, there can be no serious economic recovery without jobs, and suggests that transforming Barbados into an innovation hub could be a game changer.
If we agree that the future of the world, and by extension the future of the Caribbean, is in technology, then technology, not for its own sake, must be seen to be able to be deeply embedded as an engine in every sector of our region. Then, the how for this future prosperity that we envisage will come as a result of making Barbados a hub, indeed the hub, of a vibrant Caribbean technology industry. Tools that will lead us to prosperity.
The election of Joe Biden as President of the United States is a victory for the Caribbean. That's the view of Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles. Speaking today during a virtual media conference entitled CARICOM, the UWI, Biden and the Future of Our Voice, Sir Hilary maintained that Caribbean people contributed significantly to the U.S. election result.
The energy out of the Caribbean diaspora and the Black Congressional Caucus, those members of the Congress with Caribbean roots, those members of the Congress with Caribbean interests, the Caribbean standing aggressively for progressive democracy, that spirit has infiltrated the Democratic Party and represents the base of the Democratic Party. So when Mr. Biden says he wished to give thanks to the African Americans for standing with him through the primaries and into the general election, what in fact he is also saying, the Caribbean, thank the Caribbean people, commitment to democracy, to multiracialism, to social justice, to equal opportunities for everyone. That Caribbean philosophy has been located at the center of that popular effort.
Some of the island's leading tourism players caution against writing off the tourism sector, hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. At a panel discussion hosted by the Institute of Chartered Accountants under the theme Beyond Staycations earlier this week, Roseanne Myers, the general manager of Atlantis Submarines, insisted that industry players must stay the course and remain optimistic.
We have to play the long game. We have to be in for the long haul. This is not, don't look at what's going to happen this winter. Don't look at what's going to happen in December and January. It is too early to expect an explosion of people because with all the best doing will in the world, we have our wonderful brothers and sisters in North America don't know their head from the tail because they are just all over the place. We have the UK in trouble. We cannot recover until they recover, and that's going to take a while. So I think we have to set correct expectations. Don't expect the season to be what the season used to be. Give us a little chance. We have to do it. We have to do it safely, but the business will come back. We have to come back better.
Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Jeffrey Roach, endorsed the view, saying that tourism is resilient and recovery is imminent.
Tourism has gone through many crises before and has always rebounded, and this one will be no different. From all of the conversations I've had with the tour operators in the UK, the US, Canada, in all these markets, there is pent-up demand for Barbados.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, a task force is to be established to look at Jamaica's development agenda in light of the effects of climate change. The announcement came from Housing and Climate Change Minister Pernell Charles Jr. today. It comes as the island assesses damage from recent heavy rains. Ocean Masters of Television Jamaica reports.
Damaged bridges, roads, and collapsed houses. That's what a number of Jamaicans have been living with in the past 3 weeks following heavy rains which have impacted the island. It has led to the government looking at a number of measures to combat the effects of climate change. Of note, declaring some areas no-build zones. But for Housing and Climate Change Minister Pernell Charles Jr., a long-term fix is needed. Hence, he's looking at policy changes to include the establishment of a multi-stakeholder task force to look at the country's development agenda. Of utmost importance to the task force will be ensuring that the country's climate change adaptation efforts are sustainable.
That our infrastructure developments are carried out in a resilient way, and that the integrated actions are promoted across ministries, departments, agencies, as we partner with the private sector to address the issues that are relevant to our country.
The Housing Minister says the task force will comprise technocrats from the Ministries of Housing and Climate Change, Community Development, and the island's universities as well. In the meantime, Mr. Charles Jr. says the work to be done for sustainable housing solutions to move the country forward calls for all hands on deck.
Over in the United Kingdom, small businesses fare a gloomy Christmas as lockdown overshadows the upcoming holidays.
Christmas is the time of year when shop owners make most of their money. This year, for too many, the start of the season is passing them by. Husband and wife team Dominic and Priya have closed the doors on their small chain of gift shops in London.
Well, we've never felt as anxious as we are feeling right now because we're so close to Christmas and we've ordered so much Christmas stock.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a shock entering into a second lockdown, especially at this time of year.
They're coping by ramping up their website and appealing to customers to buy online, but it doesn't close the gap.
We still can't compare to what a normal Christmas would be like.
I think we're probably trading at about 1% of what we would be normally.
We've been in the business for 20 years, almost 20 years, and this could end up being the end of us.
The kind of things we buy for Christmas, gift items and clothes, are classed as non-essential, and these types of shops are closed. Unlike those selling food and medicines, which remain open. But what about those that sell both? In France, supermarkets have been told not to sell non-essentials and must stop shoppers who try to buy them. In England, shops can interpret the rules their own way. This nationwide chain of carpet shops has designated itself as an essential retailer. Carpetright said it reviewed the guidelines and decided to remain open because so many of its customers told them they needed their products to complete essential projects. Big chains have lawyers on staff to help make such decisions, an advantage their smaller rivals can't match.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.